Hello everybody, and welcome to episode 23 of RETRY. Today we're looking back at one of my personal favorites, Financial Advice from Jason Voorhees. Okay, that's not actually what it's called. What it should be called is Why You Should Never Buy a House with 10,000 Rooms. Seriously, Rick, if you just lived in a damn trailer home, it would have taken you 5 minutes to get your wife, your child, and get the hell out of there. So with that, we're jumping right into Splatterhouse 3, released in 1993 for the Sega Genesis by Namco. The game takes place 5 years after the events of Splatterhouse 2. In this canon, Rick saves Jennifer and they get married and have a kid named David. Rick becomes massively successful by diversifying his bonds on Wall Street. I can't resist it, I'm sorry. And then he buys the biggest, most creepy looking house you can imagine, and then of course the evil one comes back to kill him, Jennifer, David, and basically destroy the world. I have to mention this because it's pretty cool. Splatterhouse 3 was rated MA-13 for mature audiences, basically the movie equivalent of PG-13 by the Video Game Rating Council. The council was introduced by Sega in 1993, the same year that Splatterhouse 3 was released, and it was to rate all of their video games that were released for sale in the United States. People don't always give Sega a lot of credit because they were up against the juggernaut that was Nintendo at the time, but they were clearly ahead of the game. In 1994, the ESRB, the Entertainment Software Ratings Board, was started, and that's the rating system that we have today. So before the ESRB, the only rating system that was there that was commercially accepted was the one made by Sega. The gameplay is actually a pretty straightforward 2D beat-em-up at the time, except that you could power up. After you collected a few orbs, you could actually Hulk Rick up, turning him into a larger version of himself, where your power-up bar becomes the timer for how long that mode lasts. Powered-up Rick did more damage, had his own moves, and did a great job clearing out some of the game's more difficult rooms. I'll tell you though, one thing that really pisses me off about Hulk Rick is that you can't carry the power-up into the next room. Which means no matter how much time you have left on the Hulk timer, it does not matter. As soon as the room is clear, you revert back to normal and have to start over. There are only 6 levels to this game, and each level is made up of a non-linear section of the house that you have to explore to save either your wife or child. In all honesty, this game is pretty hard even by the 1990s standards. But the game included a password feature, so at the very least, if you died, you could start back at the last level that you were working on. Now I mentioned that this game was non-linear, but that's not without a price. Each level had its own timer, and if you couldn't beat each level within the allotted time, you would receive a cutscene showing Jennifer or David receiving some horrible fate. Talk about upping the stakes. Right at the very first level, if you fail to save Jennifer, the story changes. Instead of you trying to rescue your family, you're trying to get revenge. The cutscenes of this game featured real actors and actresses. When I was a kid, it freaked me out. I'll tell you, the very first level, if you fail to save Jennifer, there is a shot of her eyes staring right at you as the game tells you she's dead. This sent chills up my spine when I was playing this game in 1993, and even now when I go back and play it, it still bugs me a little. Unfortunately, Namco has only ever released this game on the Sega Genesis. It hasn't received any release to the Virtual Console or in any compilation packs. And considering how bloody it is, I wouldn't expect to see it on the Nintendo Wii anytime soon. But good news! Namco is developing a next-gen Splatterhouse game that's supposed to release the end of this summer. It has already been announced that all 3 of the original Splatterhouse games will be included with this title. So how about that? Who says sequels are a bad thing? They keep classic gaming alive. Thanks for watching. With VideoGameSaga.com, this is Tony B, and I'm out. Retry? You know it.